Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We are still fighting our mega war. This force comparison is looking shakier and shakier, and I'm not loving it. Let's go ahead and put this army on defense for the moment. And we'll see if our other armies can make sufficient enough headway that we can get everything we wish to get. Britain is absolutely on fire with this thing, and I think their desire to capitulate will increase over time. But I think as long as we can keep control, as long as we can get control of the Australian capital back. Weird front splittage there. As long as we can get control of the Australian capital back, we should be good to go. America, are you still in your war with Mexico? They are. Gosh darn it. Gosh darn it, this is not what I wanted. Because now the Germans are making progress in the north, and that's kind of the major front, the primary front. If I put this army over there, yeah, that's much better. And then we can simply hold Bavaria, hold the front in Bavaria, and maybe close it out, maybe not, but then we won't be losing progress in the north. And that's really what matters. First Corps is once again having supply issues. I think that's right, I need to build up more ports. That's the thing I need to do right now. So, ports. Where are you at? Where are you, ports? Perhaps I should, instead of doing this, open the filter and go to development. Ports. Let's do... Where have we got... Wow, we're pretty short on labor in a lot of areas. I mean, I guess we've been fighting wars pretty aggressively, and that's kind of put a dent in the labor market on account of all the people dying. Let's put 10 levels of ports in Apulia. We're not going to go too buck wild here. We'll do another 10 in Venezia, and that might be all we can do. Obviously, that's going to cost us a pile of cash, but it is what it is. Okay, these fronts have merged again now. So hopefully that won't lead to us sinking into destruction here. Weird front splittage in South Africa. Not too worried about that. Why are we always losing over here? Gosh darn it. I think this might be one battle that's just taking sweet time to finish because the game is moving really, really slowly on account of there's a lot of troops mobilized and it's hard to get things going. But I don't know. Because our force comparison here is really rock solid. Gosh darn it. I lost my fleet. Where are we losing convoys? Western Mediterranean? Alright. It's here. So now we've got Britain basically fully occupied. The whole country is on fire. Who's invading here? Occitania, what are you doing? Untrained hands. Children working in the tooling workshops in Emilia have suffered injuries trying to operate the machinery used in production. After examining the boy's hand, the doctor sat back down, turned to the mother, and sighed deeply. Well, I'm afraid your son is never going to become a great musician, but then again, perhaps that was never one of his likely prospects. Keep children off the factory floor, reduce dependents' income, or these new industries need all the employees they can get, extra mortality of laborers in manufacturing, trade unions, and intelligentsia unhappy. Keep the children off the factory floor, gosh darn it. Embargo with Belgium at risk of breaking. Because relations are too good? then so be it. Transportation shortage in Istria, not worried about that. Standards of living are low. Average standards of living in urban higher, though. Again, once I can get my... Alright, now we're winning in Australia. That's good. That's beautiful. So just a few more battles won, then Britain will lose their war support protection, and then all will be as it should be. And the way it should be is me winning. I might be about to run myself out of frickin' cash here. Let's put some of these fleets on escort convoys so that we can start taking shots at our enemy forces here. Now, population is still going up, so I'm not worried about us running out of troops here. We are also finally starting to get occupation in Brandenburg, which if we can continue to grow that, we can get what we need to get. Sweden has bailed out of the war, unfortunately. I knew they were going to eventually. We are making continued progress in Britain. Oh, cripes. Spain is out of the war. That is actually bad. That is bad. We need to continue to move forward where we can move forward here, because we're down a little bad. Did I set this force to advance? I don't think so yet. Unfortunately, we're taking a lot of devastation in Piedmont, which is one of our industrial capitals. Maybe we do advance. We'll put them on regular advance. I don't want to be pillaging in my own country. Gosh darn it. How do I keep the heck losing in this place where I've got an enormous force comparison? Why does this keep happening? Why do I keep not getting the occupation I need to have? Gosh darn it. Unity and tradition. In the light of the devastation suffered by states like Piedmont, the right has campaigned on uniting Italy in this trying time, behind traditional values. Our nation lies in ruins, but Italy has risen from the ashes before, and it will do so again, as long as we do not forget who we are. This is not the time for radicalism and recklessness. This is the time for healing. We must look to what made us persevere in the past, and safeguard it from those who would see it destroyed. Until we have rebuilt, until we have healed, it is all we have. We must come together during this difficult time. 30% extra momentum to the right. This seems like cold-hearted opportunism. 5% of pops in Piedmont become more radical. I'm going to do the first one. And this might lead to a right victory. We'll see. We will see. Where are our convoys being sunk now? Still Western Mediterranean. Alright, well, we're doing better convoys-wise at this stage. So... this number is really worrying. I don't know where we're getting all this money from. Oil in Baghdad, okay. Interesting. Anyway, this front has gotten really good, so hopefully that should be sorted out pretty presently. And then once Britain is fully on fire, maybe we'll be able to get what we need to get. 66% occupation in South Australia right now. The levies. Monaldo Bonacorsi has made overtures to the rural folk for electoral support to the right. Nepomucdolman has at least acknowledged the talks. Appeals for natural allies make for a gamble on long odds. Receptive ears to natural allies are often already of like mind, and those who aren't of like mind would politely continue on their own way. Impolitely, they might laugh, scoff, or if they're truly devious, turn the gambler into their own useful idiot. Old minds think alike. Extra momentum for the right. Grass tends to grow as it pleases. Slightly extra momentum to the right. Extra political strength for aristocrats and from the votes of farmers. I think old minds think alike is going to be more momentum. Or they should beware Nepomucdolman's shrewdness. 20% momentum for the agrarians. I'm going to say old minds think alike. That's extra momentum for the right. And that is going to give them maybe even a healthy majority in the election. We'll see how things go from here. Enemy keeps winning battles in Sardinia-Piedmont. I don't know. Maybe that's just because their army here is freaking huge. We're not out of the woods yet, friends, but if we can close out Occitania. You absolute dorks, get out of here. Well, when I got hold of Britain, I thought this war would be over pretty soon, but... Okay, now we're winning over here. So, a tumultuous campaign. Whilst campaigning for the Agrarian Party in the turmoil-racked Corsica, Bernardino Berti has been attacked and brutally beaten by a group of unknown assailants. When the crowd cleared and the screaming stopped, all that was left in the street was his prostrate form, bruised, cut, and barely recognizable as the Titan he had represented not 5 minutes before. Some rest and recuperation would be best. He gets scarred for extra popularity and reduced health, but we lose momentum to the agrarians. Or get back to the show right away, increase momentum for the agrarians, but he becomes wounded. I'm going to let him get some rest and recuperation. That is going to further increase the momentum held by the right. And that'll get us back to something closer to our baselines. I'm hoping this gives us... They've got 33% momentum left. I'm hoping winning this battle gives us full occupation, and that unlocks Britain's capitulation potential. Beautiful. There we go. Just 2%. Gosh darn it. I'm feeling very salty about the Australia situation. That having been said, we finally closed out the British front. Let's close out the front in Italy, and then we'll go to Germany and deal with the situation over there. Cash flow's finally gotten close to something reasonable for us. Campaign financing. Parties, particularly the right, are struggling to raise enough funds for all their campaigning needs this election. Let's see what you men are charging. Fees, yes, that's to be expected. Well, what's this? Lodging charge? That fancy hotel room could house half a village. And there's enough wine built down here to drown a fish. Votes don't come cheap, sir. You do want to win, right? Some money can be spared for the right, extra momentum, but costs money. Every party can be provided with basic funding this election cycle. Increase government expenses by twice as much, but all opposition interest groups get approval. Or, if a party can't afford to be a campaign, should it be campaigning? I think some money can be spared for the right. I've spent so much on this war. Yeah, we'll give the right some momentum. Let's take a look at how much we've spent on this war. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm trying to crash the game. Alright, here we go. 221 million. The vast majority, not the vast majority, but the majority on my part. Dead, 1.93 million, of which 500,000 are ours. Wounded, 1.1 million on our part. On the enemy side, almost 1 million dead Germans and 500,000 dead Brits. Almost 2 million dead Germans and 1 million dead Brits. So, you know. They still will not accept that they've lost. Okay, there we go. All right, now stop it. Win, gosh darn it. All right, well we're getting there. We're getting there. I'm gonna set this army on. Oh, both of these armies were on attack. All right. All right. Well, now we're winning in Piedmont, which is hopefully a good, healthy step forward. We're working on stormtroopers. Maybe I need to be rushing. I'm gonna cut flamethrowers. They can go in at the end, but I think right now I need to be rushing armor. We've got Britain fully occupied and just totally on fire. That should precipitate the entire destruction of their economy. which should in turn maybe help us win this war, I guess? Huh. Australia bailed out of the war. Well, that changes the dynamics somewhat. Britain will now lose their war support protection, which means they'll be losing 9 war support per day, per week, which means that in just a few more weeks they'll be forced to bail out of the war, and after that, it's just a matter of getting beautiful. They've accepted the liberation of Portugal. All right, Germany, get the. You're gonna want to. You're gonna want to. You're gonna want to get ready for this to go real bad. Alright. The election is finished. The right has taken control of the country. We'll swap the parties. Wow. That's pretty brutal. Alright, well, we'll keep the agrarians in here. What a freaking unstable coalition. That's a real surprise. I genuinely thought that they would be willing to all hang out together and be chill, but apparently not. Okay, so, low legitimacy government. I am losing some legitimacy from high income taxes and from supporting the regime of course I can't look there. Whose regime am I supporting at present? Egypt. Well, they're quite low in liberty desire. I'm going to stop supporting their regime for now. Perhaps we'll be able to do more later, but for now I need the government legitimacy. Wallachian Socialist Revolt. I can't believe this. I've never been angrier. Actually, just kidding. Not that big of a deal. Let's put I don't need to put an army on that. I can keep my armies fighting the war that matters. Hopefully soon we'll be able to get Sardinia-Piedmont back. We got 62% occupation there. So hopefully we'll get moving forward. No one else is participating in this. Second Wallachian Army's got it handled, I'm hoping. We're real short on authority, but I do not want to... I do not want to pull back my consumption taxes, because I need the cash flow. Rather desperately, in fact. Or I will for a while now. We're going to see what the prospects are for getting things going easier once the war is finished. But gosh, and also, golly, is there ever a, is this ever a heckin' war? Alright. We're at 95% occupation of Piedmont. They're at 35% devastation. Britain is still absolutely in a completely wrecked state, so hopefully they remember that the next time they decide to invade Sicily. We've got full blockade strength, so hopefully now North Germany is completely cut off from the international market. I'll hope they are. Fighting and losing a major battle up there, but we're fighting another battle down here. It's a huge battle, so here's hoping it goes okay for us. USA finally finished their war with Mexico, so hopefully that bodes well for us in terms of getting what we want. Haha, Mexico's still got Nevada. I don't want to root for the enemies of my friends, but also, that's pretty cool. That's pretty fun. I'm really hoping what hasn't happened is I've simply run myself out of cash, or out of population. Language in the classroom. Franco-Provençal students sometimes use their native language in Italian schools. Some have called for teachers to penalize the use of these languages, forcing children to speak the official language of Italy. You noticed it too, right? He gets angry when anyone talks in class, but he always gets angrier when we're talking. Maybe he thinks we're talking about him. I think he just doesn't like being reminded that we know something he doesn't. Schools to teach them the proper language, extra assimilation, increased radicalism for open prejudice and below students. 10% of Franco-Provençals pops in Italy become more radical, or their language is part of their heritage. A bunch of my interest groups mad, reduced assimilation, reduced radicalism for discriminated pops. I'm going to go with the first one, because the right's in power now. Somewhere it's the end of spring. I should hope so. It's freaking November. We've seen the end of spring event a million times. I'm not going to do much more than that. There's the Wallachian Socialist Revolt. Wallachia seems very able to handle it. We're winning a battle here. We got 95% occupation. Here's hoping this is the end of this front. Oh my gosh, they started freaking winning. Gosh darn it. Accidental good press for Austria. How far into the episode are we? Okay, we're 20 minutes in. I think we can win this war before the end of the episode. Let's hope. Private correspondence exchanged by members of the Anti-Austrian League have been published in pamphlets. The letters praise Austria, contrary to the intentions of the petite bourgeoisie. Frustration brews at the gathering of all the Anti-Austrian League members. Many are quick to blame the petite bourgeoisie for this mishap, with the series of pamphlets distributed without their sanction. One member challenges the fervor of the group. Yes, this was not our intention, but is this not one minor setback in our grand undertaking? Good press for Austria is harmless, improves relations with Italy, Anti-Austrian League gets salty, or the petite bourgeoisie should pull any remaining pamphlets. The petite bourgeoisie member pops become much more loyal. I'm going to grab the second one, and that should be good to go. I'm really salty about this. Again, I feel like these force comparison numbers in previous patches were a pretty good indication of who was likely to win what, and now it seems like they're not, really. Stupid hailstorm. Again, I've got two huge armies alongside huge armies run by my allies, and again, it doesn't seem like the North German army really has much going on. Like they're not better units than us. They're not. Some of them are badly organized. Like I genuinely don't see why we're not winning these battles. Do I have a lot of like modifiers or something? So, okay, so now we're taking extra casualties due to a blunder. But we are winning now. Alright, so hopefully that stays. Alright, that's the end of the Wallachia affair. Again, we have a lot of battles happening places other than Brandenburg, which I don't love, but it is what it is. We've got them fully cut off from Austria. We can't stop them from trading with the Russians, but that's what it is. Okay, not sure why Firefox is telling me it wants to say hello. I don't know if that's going to show up on the footage, but it is what it is. So, there's stormtroopers unlocked. Hopefully that'll get us the push we need. After this, it's concrete fortifications, military aviation, and then mobile armor. But through it all, I've stayed hydrated. And that's what's important. And we got Glory to the Queen playing, which is one of my favorite songs. Alright, the enemy is in retreat. which means we should have this front closed out. Beautiful. And now the rest of our armies are headed to Germany, and hopefully that will precipitate the conclusion of this freaking war. Maybe I'll send 4th Corps in the north to gank Pomerania and be attacking the German capital from the other side. Let's put this force on interception instead of the invasion order. There's international exchange standards. That's good. I'm going to put the blockade in the North Sea. 2nd Italian Fleet can remain at home. Alright, we are winning here in Brandenburg. We don't have any occupation. We have some occupation in Posen. And we've got a second front created over here, which hopefully we can successfully invade. Through which we can hopefully successfully invade. Alright, now they're trying to do an invasion themselves. Which I should be holding back against, since I'm holding the Western Mediterranean. Wait, no, hold on. This fleet needs to be on interception. And that's going to stop them from invading. Unless it's convoy raiding, but it shouldn't be convoy raiding. Alright, we're almost in Pomerania now. And of course, we're winning a second battle in Brandenburg. We got 33% occupation for our side. I am going to win this. I am resolved to. Spent too much of Italy's money and lives on this stupid war. Ugh. With that having been said, that is good design, right? Like, this game never really had, you know, your Weltkriegs until now, and now we've had a real Weltkrieg. And, it has actually cemented Italy's place as, the premier great power in the world, which as much as the war itself has felt like a wasteful annoyance, getting into the first position has really made me feel pretty good. I only wish I could have chipped more power away from Britain. Speaking of which, Portugal. Alright. We're going to get a power block embassy, trade privileges, investment rights, and some cash in exchange for a defensive pact. Basically in exchange for a pile of cash. Let's do it. The Genoa Convention. So that'll help us protect Portugal. And then maybe we'll be set up to build there soon. Alright. Now Germany is finally losing more support. So, I clicked the wrong thing. This is my computer trying to crash. Don't crash, computer. Yeah, alright. They're losing 17 war support per year. Would you accept being cut down to size, sir? You would not? How unfortunate for you. Seems we must occupy the whole country. It's okay. It's only going to take a few more weeks to get Germany occupied at this point. Nature is healing. Piedmont is recovering from its devastation. Let's do one more week. And they will accept. Victory. We didn't really cut them down to size all that much, but it is what it is. Our armies are on their way back home, and at last, there's peace in the land. It will be a long time before the government is out of debt, but things are continuing to go all right. Things are going all right. Let's hope they continue to go all right from here. There's a revolt kicking off in Portugal, which I am now, I suppose, obligated to support the government against the radicals, which is a bit of a shame. But, you know, they're a constitutional monarchy. It's all right. That having been said, that is all the time we've got for this episode, my nerds. It has been a heckin' war. But we're chill now. I have had fun. I hope you all have had fun. And I will see you on the other side.